A tragedy, in its purest form, is an event that causes great suffering and destruction and distress. A tragedy can be slow and subtle, like the cancer that mercilessly took my uncle's life, or it can happen all at once.
We just had a plane crash into Alpha 4 of the World Trade Center.
In the form of 2 passenger flights, tearing through the north and south towers of the World Trade Center, blindsiding the country and the world on an otherwise mundane Tuesday morning.
May angels lead you in. Hear you, me, my friend.
A tragedy can take many shapes. It can be a natural disaster, like Hurricane Sandy, or naturally disastrous, like the car accident my best friend narrowly survived. But I guess the hardest part of all to stomach is that tragedies don't discriminate against age. Now, I've detected a common theme that is somehow manifested in every disaster. Regardless of the scale, the devastation, and the aftermath, tragedies always seem to possess a force that draws people together to unite for a common cause in times of hardship. Almost as if an electric current is traveling through a crowd, jumping from person to person, and evoking action in each and every individual. But perhaps the epitome of this electric current is the unspoken bond that united every American at 8:47 a.m. on September 11, 2001, just 1 minute after the hijacked Flight 11 penetrated the seemingly impenetrable steel that metaphorically represented the very fibers that held together our nation as a whole. Deeply saddened and outraged beyond belief,
And the tears come streaming down your face.
our country united to grieve the loss of thousands of innocent lives.
When you lose something you can't replace.
Husbands, daughter-in-laws, mothers, and against all odds, we rose from the ashes stronger and more united than ever before.
I will try to fix you.
People come together to join efforts no matter what the catastrophe. The most recent hurricane attests to this very fact. Slamming into our coastline, the storm caused widespread destruction, particularly to the New Jersey and New York areas. Relief efforts were almost instantaneous. Hundreds of volunteers, including members of St. Joe's own men's lacrosse team, readily donated their time and energy towards revitalizing the land that Sandy devastated. Tragedy, more times than not, is overcome by the strength of human compassion.
Been waiting to be there for you.
The adage, "every cloud has a silver lining," serves as an accurate description of the unity and bonds that form out of tragic circumstances. I hate to admit that it was the cancer diagnosis of a truly lovely man that brought my extended family so much closer together. But honestly, being the family man that he was, I think my Uncle Connor would have loved to hear that. Connor's initial diagnosis revitalized the support system that our family is all about. My extended family was making time for each other once again, which was all sparked by the fear that we all had of losing something so precious. I don't believe in holding on to regrets, but if I could change one thing, it would be the necessity of tragedy to inspire a stronger unity and rapport in my family.
You know it's over. It's over.
And so, with my stories being shared, I wish to leave behind one idea. There is no stronger sense of unity or closeness and no stronger bond than the one that exists in the wake of a tragedy. Tragedy inspires anguish, distress, anxiety, and even anger, which are raw, universal emotions shared by humans everywhere, which thus forge a resilient bond between all that are involved. If such relationships can be formed amongst families and strangers alike to benefit the greater good, then why are we waiting on a tragedy to incite these bonds? And why do we have to wait for someone to get sick to realize the value of time spent with those who matter most? Why does it take a natural disaster for it to be worth our time to volunteer in our communities? And why does it take a terrorist attack to feel patriotic, unite us as Americans, and to remind us to count our blessings every single day? Amazing outcomes can happen without the precursor of tragedy, if only we open ourselves to the opportunity. It's time to find the silver lining before the cloud comes.
To each other.